Hi, I'm Gwen Abbott. My good friend Norm Johnson asked me to accompany him to this year's Kobalt 400 NASCAR race. I'm sure most of you watching and listening right now are aware that Norm was the original founder of the Mint 400, and he himself also raced in high-speed open road events. Also joining us today is his former navigator, Janine Heflin. As someone who had never been to a car race, I thought I would share the experience and introduce you to some of the participants of what turned out to be a very exciting day. Talking to Brendan Gaughan. He is in the NASCAR race today. Just a quick question. Mentally preparing yourself when you get out on the track, you're ready to go. Is there anything in particular that goes through your mind at that point?
No, I mean it's just like any sport and any athlete. We have we do what we do, and we try to be good at what we do. So you kind of don't have to really worry about. You're not thinking, okay, I'm going to go high, I'm going to go low. It's just you get into the flow of the race, and it happens. With our South Point Chevy yesterday, we were top dog. We were up front all day, led some laps, had a chance to win. So you have a different attitude and a different mindset while you're racing that. My South Point Chevy in the Sprint Cup deal, we have different goals in mind. We have different, so it's it's actually a totally different style of racing and thought process of racing. So today it's keep this race car clean, survive, try to get the best finish we can out of it. And where yesterday it was bring it home in a milk carton if you have to, but go try to win the thing.
So to those people that are listening, watching today, that are not familiar with car racing, we've got a fairly calm day, as you're starting out, ready to do the race, and all of a sudden you find yourself with a bit of a tailwind. Does it ever occur to you that it's going to give you a little extra boost and you're going to be like Gone with the Wind?
Well, a tailwind on one direction is going to be a headwind on the other. So, the winds. What's really nice about today, actually, just the reality of that is it's a great day for racing today.
Yes, it is.
But as the race goes, everything. Some days you have good ones, some days you have bad ones. It kind of always ebbs and flows, and you just got to play the hand you're dealt.
Right.
Yesterday it was a racetrack where I had a race car that could win. I had a race car that was up front, and we battled for it. Today I have a race car that our goal is a modest goal of top 35. I'd love to get a top 30, but top 35 is kind of the goal we're shooting. And so you got to work. It's amazing you can work as hard as you do to just finish 35th. It's amazing how difficult this sport is.
Do you have any sort of routine that you go through?
In NASCAR racing, it's a different sport than any other sport in the world. We don't get to be sequestered in the locker room away from media and people like that. Our job is to keep and make sponsors happy. So, right now I'm here talking to you, giving an interview 5 minutes before I get in the race car. I've got friends and associates here. I've got my combat controllers from the military hanging out with me. We have sugar bar sponsors that are hanging out here. So we've got all sorts of friends and sponsors that are here because that's what we have to take care of. That's what keeps our sport running. So very different from any other sport that you can do, and I've done a lot of them. So it's definitely unique. It's fun. Take care of those things. Take care of you guys, and then get in the race car and settle down once I get to buckle in. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
Welcome.
Good luck today.
Thank you very much.
Brendan was off to the races with about 725 horses, all packed neatly under the hood of a Chevy. And I was off to see a man about the weather. Curious to know, how big a part do weather conditions actually play?
I'm Brian Newdorf. I'm the chief meteorologist at KMVT and KSVT in Twin Falls, Idaho. But in the NASCAR circles, I'm known as the NASCAR weatherman, unofficial NASCAR weatherman for NASCAR.
So tell me a little bit about how the weather affects tailwinds, headwinds, things like that.
Weather is a huge deal when it comes to NASCAR. Obviously, if you get a windy situation, you can get a tailwind on the backstretch. You can get loose in that situation. Hotter surfaces makes the car a little bit loose. When a driver says a car is too loose, just imagine you're back in fishtailing in your car. So because when you start turning, then that back end starts to give out. That's what the driver means by loose, whereas a tight car is you're trying to turn, but it's not moving, and you're almost still going in a straight line. So on a hotter track, the tires heat up, and they get more slick, and that's what happens. They want more rubber and stuff like that. And then the winds obviously can play a havoc. And then, of course, it's colder. They get more grip, but then they can also cause problems. And they get more airflow, so they can get more speed and horsepower. So big different situation from Atlanta, where they had cold, damp, and dreary last week, to Las Vegas now, where it's much warmer. It's another mile and a half, but now it's a little hotter, so they're going to have to deal with their car being tuned up the way they want it to be.
In your world, what's a perfect day?
Kenny Wallace, we were doing a story with him. We asked him a weather question, and he flat out said too, just even a slight shade can drop the temperature of a track about 5 degrees or so, and their car will change. That's a big part of what's going on and how they're going to set up, and the communication that the drivers have as far as that. But weather's a big part.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.